up, y'all. Alright. We're going to be talking about nutrition today. So that should be fun. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. I know I am, because that'd be like the one question, hey girl, that everybody be asking us. Nutrition. Let's go. Hi, Jen. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Hold on, there we go. Alrighty, girl. Oh, wait. Okay, now I can see you.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for today's episode.
I know, me too. And I just smoked, so I'm lit. Let's get it. My alarm. All right, so the first thing I want to say is we are not medical professionals. This is not medical advice. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. Take everything we say, take some notes, but please do your own homework. We are all still growing, still learning. And I don't want, nobody being like, oh, you told me to take this and this happened. No, girl. Do your own homework and research and see what works for you. We are just giving you what has worked for us. Danesha, I can't really see you. I don't know why. Hold on. Let me try to do this again. Oh, hold on. Let me get Danesha back in here. Yes. Okay. So this is for informational purposes. After that, it's on you to put in that work. Okay. Let me also say this as I wait for Danesha to come back in. I understand that a lot of parents have to work outside and are not at home, so it can get a little difficult with trying to prep your children's foods and things like that. But let me just say this. I am not the friend, I am not the mom that is going to give you shit soft. I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. That's what Mommy Mondays is about. That's what me and Danesha about. If you can tell yourself that if your job asked you to do overtime, you would stay there and do the overtime for money, then you can make some time to make sure that your children's foods is as healthy as possible. Okay? There are no excuses. There is always a way. This is your child, and you are responsible for their health. Okay? Not a doctor, not anybody else. Yes, they are there to guide you and help you when you need assistance. But for the most part, if we use a little bit of common sense and start unlearning what we have been taught about nutrition and health, there has been this standard American diet, this pyramid, that when you look at it, you're like, this is the reason why our people are so sick, because it's completely backwards. This is not to convince anybody to go plant-based or vegan or any of that. Let me be clear. I'm plant-based. Danesha is not. However, we both make healthy decisions for our families based on our children and our own bloodline and our history of health within our families. So that goes to show you that there is no one way about this health. Like, everybody's family is different. Everybody's child is different. Every person is different. So you just want to make sure that everything we're telling you, you're going to see how it works. Oh, okay, Danesha, let me go back and do it. There we go. Did that work? Guys, I'm so new to this. Oh, here we go, girl. Okay.
Yay. Okay.
All right. So, I was just giving my girl. So yes, find what works for you. So let me just start. I'm by myself with these children. Well, with the girls. Okay, so first, what I do want to tell you guys is certain things that are very important to know. there is a thing called the Dirty Dozen when it comes to fruits. Hey, Melinda. I have it pulled up right here. So what that means is that there are a certain amount of fruits that are actually highly, what's it called, Danesha? I just had a brain for it.
That they're bioengineered or
no. Oh, pesticides. They have more pesticides in them. And then you have the other ones that are the least pesticides. So when it comes to the Dirty Dozen, you want to make sure that, like right here, there's a clean food and a dirty food. When it says the dirty food, it means it's high in pesticides. So those, you want to do your best to get organic. Now, the other ones, you want to do your best to do that too, but if you can't, at least it's not as dirty as the other ones. Either way, you want to make sure you clean your fruits and vegetables. I use a little bit of vinegar and water. Sometimes people use, I guess, the things that says like clean your fruits and all that. I've never used it. Apple cider vinegar is another one with a little bit of water. I'm saying all this because this is very important in how we clean our foods, because this is how we're getting these parasites, these pesticides, and all this waste in our body, because it's coming from the foods are so dirty. So regardless of anything, you want to make sure you're cleaning your foods. So go online and type in the Dirty Dozen, okay? Now, I'm going to just give y'all the ones that I have here. Strawberry is a Dirty Dozen. Spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, nectarines, apples, grapes, cherries, peaches, pears, bell and hot peppers, tomatoes, and celery. So if you notice, yeah, I used to spray and it shows how dirty it is, which is horrible. Yes. So if you can see, these have a lot of the exterior in there, so they're not covered. So that makes them more susceptible, right? So then you have your other ones that are clean foods, and you'll see the difference in them a little bit. Avocado has a shell, you know what I mean? You have your papaya, eggplant, kiwi, honeydew melon, cantaloupes, things like that. So that's number one. Make sure you clean your fruits. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys that's super important is I had to learn that there is a certain way to eat your fruits and vegetables. I didn't know that before. So you can't combine certain fruits and vegetables, because then it's not going to digest the way you want it to get the full benefits from it. So I have a chart here I'm just going to share with y'all real quick. So you have like subacid fruits, acid fruits, sweet fruits, and then you have your melons. So like, for example, your melons, because they digest so fast, you don't want to eat that with nothing else. So your melons include watermelon, honeydew, and cantaloupe. You can eat those together because those digest the same way, and those have the most water in it. That is a great thing to always give your children for breakfast. Like when it's watermelon season in the summer, like that's our main breakfast. I make a juice out of it. I put a little bit of lime in it when I make the juice. And all I do with the juice is literally take the watermelon and I put it inside the blender, put a little bit of lemon in it, and that's it. A little bit of ice if you want. You have your subacid fruits. That's like your apples, your pears, things like that. So you would eat those together. So a subacid fruit, it's fine to eat both with sweet and acidic fruit. It can digest fine. Now you have your acid fruits. Those don't digest well with sweet fruits. An acid fruit is like a kiwi, an orange, a pomegranate, a pineapple. Those you wouldn't want to mix with a sweet fruit, which is bananas, figs, papayas. Okay, so those are type of sweet fruits. So there's a way, if you just go online literally and put food combinations, if you put something like that, food combination for fruits and vegetables, you will find a bunch of pages on it. So they say that basically certain foods digest differently. Either some are chemically, some are, I forgot how it is. It's all broken down. Of course I didn't know. Yeah, these are like things that we don't even think about. That's the crazy part. You know, like we really don't think about these things. There is a science to everything. And if you take that mentality literally with everything in life, you will find that there is, hold on, Danesha's like, you will find that life can be much simpler if you just find the science to it. You know, yeah, it keeps taking her out. Why is that? Okay, try again, Danesha. I don't know why it keeps taking out. Why they be hating on us, yo? All right. So that's that. That's number one. Let's try to get Danesha back in here again. The other thing is your oils, what you cook with. These are like things I'm telling you we don't think about. I never knew. There we go again.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So the other important thing I want to mention is oils. You are not supposed to just cook everything with the same oil. And I say what I mean by that is, for example, I had to learn olive oil. You are not supposed to fry with olive oil because it's not meant for high heat. So when it becomes high in heat, it turns carcinogenic, which is cancerous. Now, how many people you know that probably with just the ignorance, I don't fry a lot of food, so I never really fried with it, but I just never knew that. You know what I mean? But how many people would say, no, olive oil is more healthy, and then you'll go and like fry your wings or fry your stuff in olive oil, not knowing that you're actually making it carcinogenic and it's becoming cancerous. Like, this is shit we ain't taught in school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up education, all right? That's that. So, like, for example, I know if you want to fry something, peanut oil, if you're not allergic to any peanuts, right, Danielle? I'm telling you, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Peanut oil is very good to fry. Grapeseed oil. And if you look at it, it's going to say high heat.
Frying.
Like,
high.
like, yo, it's been telling me this shit, but we don't read. We don't read shit. And then we wonder why we so damn freaking ignorant.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing. I know a lot of people drink coffee and love coffee. I was a very big coffee drinker. Okay, I used to go to my store and get my little bread and butter, pan con mantequilla in the store, and you get your little cafecito. I love that. However, it's no good for you. So I have something that I think you guys would really, really love. It's an herbal coffee, but it tastes like coffee. Like, it's the closest thing to coffee, and I'm telling you from somebody who used to love coffee. So it's called Ticino. I'm gonna spell it over here. I hope I got it right. If you look it up on Amazon, you know that should be coming up. Ticino coffee, right?
More,
yep. Ticino coffee.
It's it tastes like coffee, but not like the Hispanic coffee.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So don't buy it thinking it's gonna like automatic.
Right. It's like this.
Like,
it's kind of like
it's hard.
It's just getting a quick fix. Like, you know what I mean? Let your mind get that quick fix with that taste real quick. You know what I mean? Now, to sweeten it, I know everybody be wondering about sugars, right? So for those who don't know, and this was shocking to me, white sugar is actually not plant-based or vegan. So white sugar actually comes from, what is it? It's the, it's basically like all the, from the meat, it's all the bones and things like that. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically, it's like if you're eating meat too, when you're eating white sugar. I never used to know that. That was crazy to me. If you look up how white sugar is made, you will find it.
Because real cane sugar and white sugar are not the same thing. No. So I know cane sugar, like if you buy real cane sugar, it's from the la caña.
Yes,
which is
yes.
The fruit cane, caña. But white sugar, I was wondering that too the other day. I was like, these things are not the same. I wonder what's the difference. I thought it went through
look it up. When you look it up, like how white sugar is made, I promise y'all gonna be like, what the fuck? But I got something for y'all to replace that. Okay, there's something called monk fruit. I'm gonna put it down here. Monk fruit, right? MONK. Monk fruit. Look that up. So monk fruit, just to give you a brief, monk fruit is good for infections, to treat diabetes. Yes, we're gonna save this life. It works as an antihistamine. It fights fatigue. It helps possibly treat or prevent cancer. It lowers the risk of obesity and diabetes and combats free radicals. It's an anti-inflammatory and coolant. So obviously a way better substitute than having your other sugars that they be giving you, right? Sometimes I'll use coconut sugar.
I use coconut sugar.
I'll do coconut sugar sometimes, but I really like the monk fruit. my girl put me onto that one.
I didn't like it in the beginning because the texture, like it dissolves really quickly.
It does.
That's kind of weird because I'm very much about textures. So then I bought coconut sugar and I like it. But then I started like doing half and half to kind of switch.
Like I like to use it on when I make milk, I'll put a little bit of the monk fruit sugar in there since I'm just like blending that. It's not, so it'll be with the milk. I'll tell you guys how to make your own milk as well.
Yeah, if we're doing smoothies, we can add a couple of dates that will in it, or you can use like raw honey that you can get locally, which will help you with allergies and stuff like that as well.
You just said honey. Before I forget, raw honey, guys.
Raw honey.
You want the watery down honey because all that is a bunch of sugar. You want raw honey. That's what you always want to get. If you get it from the farmer's market, it's even better because you're getting it from a local farm. You know, if not, I get the one, but it's pretty hard, the one that I get. But yeah, you want to stay away from the ones that are all just water. And there's
too. Put a little bit in a bowl and put a little bit of water and move it around. If the comb, the shape of the comb, not the shape of the cone diluted, if it's perfect like a stamp, you know that that's a good brand to use moving forward. So test it before you keep buying the same brand over and over. And sometimes they come down with like rice syrups or stuff like that. So make sure you're not getting it from China. Make sure that it's like from Brazil or it's from Uruguay, or if you couldn't get a local from a local farm.
Yes. Let me see here real quick. Oh, I just got put onto this and I want to put y'all on too. My sister put me onto this. So there's pine pollen powder, right? I'll put it down here. Pine pollen powder is actually a plant-based form of vitamin D3. So it's something that I know that a lot of people sometimes are deficient in. Pollen powder. I'm mad slow here, yo. I need to get it together. Pine pollen powder. And a lot of the stuff you can get on like Amazon and shit like that, all right? Here's another one that's good in vitamin C, especially now with all these things going on with the stuff. Okay, with the stuff. It's called Baobab. Hold on, look at me, my slow. I look like one of my parents, you know, when they be typing mad slow.
Oh, you need the glasses.
Right.
And squinting.
Yo, I'm mad slow down. Baobab. I think I spelled that right. You'll find it if you look it up. Baobab powder is very good in vitamin C.
Arisola cherry powder is also a great.
Oh yes, write that one down because I'm gonna take forever spelling that. Another thing. What was the other thing I had here? I had that, the Ticino. These are like little things I want to make sure I don't forget. Random. If your child is taking any antibiotics for any reason, get some probiotics as well, because the antibiotics are going to destroy the good and the bad bacteria, and you want to make sure they keep the good bacteria. You would think that your pediatrician would be like, well, here's the antibiotics prescription and here's a prescription for probiotics, right? You would think that, but no, of course not. Why would they do that? So make sure you get probiotics. I love the brand Garden of Life. I actually just had to order more because Tristan just finished it. I can't give it to Celeste and Kaylani because they're too young. The one I have is like for 4 years old and older. I think that one. But this is a vitamin code, just a regular vitamins that I give to him. I don't give to the girls just yet because they're too young. So Kaylani might be able to now because she's 3. But yeah, make sure you get a probiotic. That is so important, and so many parents don't know that. Okay, so we talked about oils real quick. Now, Danesha, let's tell them things to really put it like this. When you are buying anything that you're buying now, from now on, when you go to that grocery store, I need you to take the bag and go to the back, and there's a thing called ingredients, okay? People never lie to us. It's just that we don't fucking read. That's the problem. Our ignorant asses don't read shit. Tell me when's the last time you read some terms and agreement and anything you fucking signed. So Ingredients. Go to the back and look at the ingredients, okay, to see what exactly it contains. If there is something in there that you're like, I don't even know how to pronounce this, I don't know what this is, go to Google and look the shit up.
Unfortunately, we're going back to the basics because
Yes.
that's
You gotta teach yourself everything. Another thing, let me also be clear. This is so important. Just because it is vegan does not mean it is healthy. Let me say that again. Just because it's vegan does not mean it's healthy. Just because it says low fat, low sugar, don't mean it's healthy.
That's actually the opposite when it says those things.
Yes, what they're doing is they're remixing another form of sugar, putting it in the ingredients, and you're like, no, it says this and that. Or sometimes people only look at the front and don't look at the back, and the back has a whole mess of other shit. Now, just as a red flag, if the shit is too big and has a lot of shit in there, don't waste your fucking time.
Just avoid it because it's doing more harm.
Put it back. Don't waste your fucking time. Just put it down and put it back. Now, what I need all you parents to do is go into your cabinets after you're done with this live and look at everything you have in there. Do this for yourself, for your children, for your life, for the life of your children. Look at them ingredients and tell me. And if there is any in there that are a lot that you don't understand, I suggest you trash that shit now. Okay? Don't even waste your time. Trash it.
But we have alternatives to help.
Yes, we don't. Well, we ain't gonna leave you in the dust.
Yeah, like we have the community where we can hit each other up and just ask, because it takes teamwork. It was very overwhelming for me to step into a supermarket and redo that. I'm used to seeing the Kraft, the Heinz, all these like Quaker Oats, the Aunt Jemimas. Like I was used to that because that's how we grew up. That meant you were good. That means that, like, you know, that's what it meant. It symbolized in the family. Now, when people come here and they open my refrigerator, they find it weird because everything is different, right? But don't be scared of that. The transition is possible. We're not asking you to give up any of the foods or things that you like. We're not asking you to change your diet. We're just asking you to find a better alternatives for the things that you already like and that you use.
You know what I used to always do in the beginning was everything that was like my favorite food to eat or favorite thing to cook. I literally went online and said, what is a plant-based version? So let's say I'm like, for me, I can't do dairy and things like that. So I would be like, okay, what's an alternative that I could find to replace the part that needs the eggs or the part that needs this? And I would take the same thing. As a matter of fact, like yesterday, I was in the mood for a sancocho. Sancocho, though, has beef and all that in it. So I was like, damn, well, I can't eat that, right? And I didn't want to do the fake meat either because I'm doing a parasite cleanse again. So I was like, all right, let me just get the fix of that taste, right? The sopao taste, right? So what I did was I looked up the regular recipe of sancocho and I just didn't do the beef part. That was it. And instead of beef stock, I just used vegetable stock, and then everything else, the plátanos were in there, the sweet potatoes were in there, the green plantains were in there, the onions were in there, all that stuff was in there. I didn't have the yuca, I was pissed. But anyways,
that would have been a good addition.
I was pissed. I was like, damn. But I just moved in this area, so I don't really know where like all the stuff is at. Where I could, that's another thing. You can't find everything in one market. Like I go shopping in different supermarkets, and I go to the farmers market as well.
Yeah.
So it's like I know that certain places also with prices. I know certain places are more expensive than the other places. Certain better that they have better quality of their fruits or their things like that. So I go to different places. Like, so you're not gonna find everything in one place. Danesha, let's talk about food coloring.
Oh my God, that's one of the. That's the first.
A heart attack when I found that out.
That's the first thing I started shifting from was like because the children, it's like they purposely market these things and sell these things to children. It's literally on purpose because it's like who in their right minds decided to market it. Okay, adults I get, but for children specifically where they have no say, they don't do anything, they just do it to us, and then we don't, we just want to be good parents and we don't really understand, so we just buy it. But when you do the deep dive and you dig into that is not like, there's not enough research done on the effects of food coloring. There is research out there, but it's pointing in a direction that people are not really taking, and they're not taking very serious, as in like this is giving our children like psychological issues because the studies are
all these things
not being done.
So these are like the ones that you see, anything that has like red 40, yellow something, blue this, you'll see it. I'm telling you, go in your cabinet when you go in that supermarket. If you see any of those things, don't do your best not to have anything with food coloring, because if you'll see that you could find something else, and what they'll use as food coloring is like a beet. Yes.
Real quick, I'll show. These are the sprinkles that I get. So they are colored with spirulina.
Oh yeah. Let me give you his number.
Beet powder.
51.
And turmeric powder.
796.
So these are sprinkles that you can find that are an alternative to regular sprinkles. Not everything that you find is going to be that easily replaceable, but you can replace.
Oh, let me see which ones you got. I have some over there. I forgot.
They're not great,
that's
but
the one I got.
Yeah, like they're not, oh my God, the buzz, but it's
right.
a lot better than, you know, for a quick fix. Like you say, you want to give them an ice cream cone, sprinkle that on top, and that'll make them a little bit happier, and you don't have the consequences after. This one is called Watkins.
You gotta always remember this when you in that supermarket.
Watkins.
When you in that supermarket, you gotta make sure. Basically, you're gonna say pick your poison. Not everything may be perfect, but you can pick a better version of it that will then, after time, you know what I mean? Like it won't do as much damage as you continuously eating all these processed chemical-based foods. Another thing, soy. Soy, although used to be good, the problem is that all the soy here in America is genetically modified. So that is the problem with soy here. So soy increases the estrogen levels in both men and women, and we have the amount of estrogen that we need as a woman and that we need as a man. And when you do too much of that, that's where you get the women's with all these fibroids and all these issues with their reproductive system. And with the men, well, I don't think I need to say much about that. That's common sense, right? Mm-hmm. So you're increasing that in your body, which is causing so many issues in a lot of women. So we have to stay away from that. I'm pretty sure you guys know about high fructose corn syrup. We've heard of that before, right? You want to stay away from that. There's another thing that I noticed was in so many of snacks and junk food and things like that for children, and that is soy lecithin. So I started reading up on it, and it's linked to like breast cancer. It's just crazy. So I try to stay away from all those things, because it seems like what you'll start to notice is all the foods that have all these chemicals and crap in it, they all have the same shit. So at the time, you're going to be like, oh, here goes that up.
Yes, exactly. You start seeing it. Plus, I also discovered that the name for MSG has over 15 different names. So once I discovered that, I was like, listen, if I don't understand what this says, I'm just not buying it anymore. And I went through phases. Like I went through I feel bad because I'm wasting food, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then let me just use it anyways. But then I will see the difference in I can tell the difference in when our children get sick or when they start to get a cough, and like little things that you do start shifting that instead of like making you be aware of the thing.
Here's another thing that's super important. So the numbers on your fruits and vegetables. When I learned this, I was pissed, because there will be times that I will be in places and it would say it was organic, and then I would look at the number and it was not an organic number. So be mindful of that, because a lot of people that work there don't even know what they're doing. So if it's the codes, I don't know my computer, but it's where the barcode is at, it's going to be like a 4 to 5 digit number, right? So if it starts with a number 9, that means that it is organic, right? Mm-hmm. If it has the number 8, it is genetically engineered. If it has the number 4,
if it starts with, right? If it starts
with like the beginning of the number. let's see, 4-digit number that identified, it says identify different types of produce, but I know 4 means something. I think the 3 number is conventional, like something local. I can't remember. Look it up again. Look up the PLU numbers, the price lookup. So PLU numbers, if you look up the PLU numbers, it's going to tell you the first digit. So once you're going in the grocery store and you're looking through these things, you'll already know, like, yo, this is bullshit. It's in the organic section, but it's not. It doesn't even have a 9 number in it. So that's a lie, you know? Another thing that is really good is, I just blinked out. Farmers markets. Find your local farmers market. But I'm on them. Come here. Why you got that on?
Find your local farmers markets. The one on Union Square, 14th Street, if you're in New York City, it takes food stamps and you can just go buy regular. But one of the farms is a local farm. So it's called Tween Fontaine. And they have like teas, they have herbal remedies, they have like elixirs, they have a lot of different things that you can get from them.
Yes, that's so important because you get more of a fresher, cleaner food. I notice every time I get my foods from the farmer's market, they just taste different. They're just much better.
They taste different.
They concentrated. Fresher, all that. That's really, and you can find, like, literally if you go on Yelp and stuff like that, like, I just moved to a new area, so I'm trying to find the farmer's market here, but I know there is one because I already saw. I just have to see what days it has it. But yeah, like, just look up in your local town. You know what I mean? I'm in California. Where they have a farmer's market and go there. That's really important on where you're getting your foods. Also, let me break something down to you guys. Growing up, what was our breakfast, right? You got up, you ate some cereal. Now go look at the cereals that you ate, y'all. Mad food coloring and all them shits, yo. Mad crap and all them shits.
A lot of sugar.
A lot of just sugar. I used to love Fruity Pebbles. What? I used to tear some Fruity Pebbles up. Okay?
Not Fruity Pebbles, but I will do like a Honey Nut Cheerio.
Yes. So anyways, look at all them cereals, okay? So just think of common sense, right? You're in the morning and you first wake up from a fast, right? Because when you're sleeping, you're fasting. So now you wake up and your body now has to now get ready to start the day, right? And what you decided to start it with was being mad negative and mad heavy with that bitch. You were like, here's some food coloring, here's some processed food, here's some cow milk that probably has mad puss and a bunch of other shit in it, right? We're not baby cows, but somehow it's more weird to drink breast milk than cow milk. Beyond my comprehension. But anyways, I'll continue. So you have your cow milk, your cereal, right? And then after that, you probably have your coffee if you drink coffee, right? Your children, what are they having? Some fucking children are having taquitos for fucking breakfast. Okay? A quarter water Pop-Tarts. Okay, and listen, I'm not here to offend anybody or play anybody. I know what it is because whatever was the taquitos version when I was a kid, that's what I was eating for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't shitting on y'all. I'm just giving you the real shit. I'm telling you, I'm that friend. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. They're probably eating some taquitos for breakfast, right? Some quarter waters, right? Or a juice you got from the store, or maybe a Tropicana orange juice, right? So or if not, what? You may go to the store, you may get yourself a bacon, egg, and cheese, right? So you got the bread now, you got the starch, you got the cheese, you got the bacon, right? Now, have you ever taken your bacon and thrown the grease in your sink, right? Anytime somebody ever try to throw the bacon grease in the sink, you be like, don't do that, you're gonna clog the sink, right? What's happening inside your organs then with that bacon? I'm just saying, what's happening inside your organs, okay? So you think about all these foods that you're eating, and this is your quote-unquote breakfast, and they say breakfast is the most important meal. But what you've done is you've completely exhausted your body from having to give you all the energy because there's so much heaviness that it has to break down. It has so much work to do, and it just woke up. That's like you just waking up and somebody's dragging you out of bed, forcing you to work, forcing you to pull a truck, push a truck, move this, move boxes. You're gonna be like, yo, bro, I just woke up. Like, what are you doing? You know, and then what's gonna happen? You're gonna crash, right? You're gonna get exhausted and you're gonna knock out. You're gonna be tired. Yes, mama. So think about these things. Now imagine if you wake up, right? And when you wake up, you have a glass of water, right? Your body's saying, wow, thank you. I needed that. I just woke up, right? That's like if you know how like you have a machine where you throw water and it just keeps spinning, right? That's with the water. You throw the water into your body, and what does it do? The organs are saying, hey guys, let's get up. But you're not forcing it. You're not pushing it. You're not exhausting it. You're doing it softly, right? Okay, come on guys, let's get up. And then what do? You can have a bowl of fruit. That's what your children need to eat in the morning. Some fresh fruit, okay? Don't be afraid of fruit. Unless your child is a diabetic or something like that, there are certain ones that you have to stay away from. I'll have a book that you guys can get on that. But for the most part, do not be afraid of fruits. Get that fruit combination chart. Give your child an abundance of fruit. That plate should be colorful. Now imagine you eating that. This is water-based. Your body recognizes it. It's not chemically processed. It doesn't have all this bullshit in it. So now your body can digest it, turn it into energy, and give you what you need. Food is supposed to give you life. We have this idea that we get the itis and we doing something. No, that means that you fucking ate you ate something that you were supposed to eat. So think about these things every time you feed your child. How is their digestive system working? Now that they have that energy, maybe you want to wait like an hour and a half before you do like a pancake and things like that, right? But check this out. Now we go into what we grew up, right? We got the Aunt Jemima pancakes. Go look at the ingredients in that box, okay? We got the Aunt Jemima cereal. Go look at the ingredients in that, okay? Now you have that. Again, just a bunch of chemicals. Why? When you can literally make your own or buy a healthier version like that, the same amount of time that you're taking to put the mixture in for the egg and whatever the hell, or even the ones that come with just water or whatever in the pancakes. Either way, what you're doing is you're trying to get a shortcut that's going to cost you later in life. So when people say, oh, being healthy is expensive, is this? No, cancer is fucking expensive. Okay? Diabetes in children is expensive. Okay? These are things that are expensive to me, not my health. There's no price on my health. Like, you can't put a price on that. It just is what it is. Yeah.
You know,
Get real quick. Here's a Kamut Puffs. You can find this on Amazon. Kamut Puffs, right? You ever remember had those Honey Smacks? Those cereals?
Yes, I like those.
Okay, yes.
Pop.
So this is like a Honey Smacks, like, you know, a little fake version, right, of it. But a healthier. I got put on by somebody with this. And I'll take that and put it in a parchment paper, and I put some date syrup all over that, right? You add some date syrup, put it in the oven for like, I want to say 5-7 minutes, no more than that. You don't want it to burn. And then mix all that date syrup up, take some fruits, and there goes your cereal. I give my children that cereal all the time, and they love it. I put some strawberries in it, I put bananas in it, and then I make my own milk. I make my own milk with hemp milk. Super easy. So don't tell me there's no excuse. I use hemp seeds, dates, and water, and then a little bit of either monk fruit or maple syrup. I use a little bit of that to sweeten it if I want to. And that's it. And then afterward, I just strain it, and that's the milk. I don't buy no milk from the store. I don't know if you know this, guys, but there was a point when all the milk that was made that was next to the plant that had more chemicals in it, more radiation in it, so that's the milk they would sell in the hoods to our people. So you got to think about these things. You know, like they don't give a shit about us, and we gotta learn how to be self-sufficient. We got to go back to our natural state. You want to eat whole foods. Now, I'm going to have Danesha tell them about, because I'm plant-based, but Danesha isn't. So she does something different when she gets her meats, her eggs, and all these things.
Yes. In general, I wanted to be plant-based and vegan or a raw diet. I'm called to those things naturally, right? So then I kind of want to implement that in my family's lifestyle. Problem is, I can't speak for everybody else. So my husband has a whole different mindset of his own that I have to acknowledge. So, and my children are half and half. So when this man is craving or asking for things, I can't be like, oh, let me whip up some raw kale for you when he wants steak or he wants like chicken or something. You know? So realistically, for the moms out there, we're not coming from a place that's like, you have to do this. No, but a place of there is your way. There's not, oh, you don't have to do anybody else's way. There's your way because the standard American diet is a one size fits all. And we should know, especially if you're Hispanic, you should know more than anybody that that doesn't apply to us because even other Spanish nations don't, or Hispanic nations don't do the same things that we do. Another melanated community doesn't do the same things we do. And it's that they're healthier or not as healthy as us, but it just means that to each their own. So what I started initially was finding out, okay, my people are I'm from the Dominican Republic. Over there, they eat all the time. Now, what I started learning about is the frequency of your meals, the vibration of your food, and that the spirituality of your food. It might sound silly, but in reality, it means a lot, right? So there was an experiment done of water. Speak nice to some water and speak mean to another. The plants that they were adding the water to, the ones that the water was being spoken to, what that plant was dying. So you can speak life into your food. And it doesn't mean you are magically going to verbally put it, but where are you getting your food? Is it ethically sourced? Is it humane? Are these animals suffering? Are they raging? Are they getting sick and we're not knowing that? Like, what's going on with these animals that we're ingesting, right? That was my logic. So when I see that my family wants to continue eating meat, I have to support that because at the end of the day, I can't speak for another human being the same way I wouldn't want another human being to speak for me. So when I say I don't want to eat meat, I don't want anybody telling me the benefit. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to eat that, right? So what I do is I try to get humanely raised meat, which they're not gonna tell you the truth all the time, and we know that, but at least you're trying because what like I lived in the Bronx with my mom, and when I would go to look for better options, they wouldn't have them in the supermarket, right? But guess what? You can talk to the person in the supermarket and you can get an item that you haven't used that they might try out for you. There's supermarkets that do that. I never had to do it because I kind of found different alternatives and then I started going to Trader Joe's and stuff like that and maybe Whole Foods. But those places also is the same thing. You still got to read the labels. You still have to figure out what it is that you're getting. So at the end of the day, what I try now that I live in a country setting is I try to go to farms. I haven't found a meat farm yet. I found a company of that I can get ground beef from and I can get like beef stew. I can find chicken and I know the brands. I look them up a little bit see if I can find a better alternative. So these look for free range. You see free range meat, that animal might not have suffered as much as the animal that you're eating that is in every single supermarket. At the end of the day also has to be like bioengineered in some way because there's no way that we have that much meat. Like people, come on. Calculate every
Remember before back in the days, you would go to the butcher for your meat.
Yes.
What happened to the butcher?
Like,
you know what I mean?
We're just cutting people.
What's the name of some of the brands of meat you buy?
Look up. I don't have any at the moment. Maybe I do, but I can check. But another, like I'm telling you, alternatives. Like I live totally different from where Jenn lives, and I found this cereal, which is like a peanut butter cereal. And funny, this cereal was given to me when I was like 13 or 14 years old because I had a godfather and a god sister and a godmother that were kind of into spirituality and all these things. So they they would go to Trader Joe's before I even heard of Trader Joe's in that time. Then life happened, and then now I'm getting memories again of all those times. But it's always somebody in your family that might be insinuating certain things, and if you get close to those people and research together, because it's gonna open up a whole new world.
It really is.
Our of what we eat. It doesn't matter how you want to break that down. Your eyes, your hair, your internal organs, your toes, your nails, anything. It doesn't matter. It has to come from where you are eating. And the
matter of fact,
the way
you were just saying that. Y'all gotta check out this book right
here.
I
almost posted it the other day and then I forgot.
So here's the right. So it tells you where all the issues are at. If you have issues in your skin, it's by Layla Africa. Dope book. Yeah, I'm missing a nail. This is a great book. Make sure y'all get that. So it's like, you know, you're gonna have to do the work on your own. Here's something else that is really good for you guys as well. If you want a form of magnesium, this is the one that I use right here. I really like Garden of Life because they don't have a lot of crap in it. Oh, another thing I want to share with y'all. Mullen.
I have
good for respiratory. Right now, what is that thing attacking?
Especially if you should use.
Oh, this is for your children. I like to get the alcohol-free ones.
I have a Danesha also. I'm gonna go to my.
Danesha is an herb. It's really good for the immune system. Hey, Kailani. I have another one here. Hold on. This one's called Immune Avenger. This is alcohol-free. I try to do alcohol-free all the time as much as I can. This has a bunch of herbs in it. Back there, you'll see. Check that out. Oh, this here, Tristan had gotten a little cough. This was like about, I want to say like 2-3 months ago. But once I heard a little bit of it, and it lasted like only like 2-3 days. I got this for him. It says Bronchial Wellness. So this was pretty good. It's a bunch of herbs. You can give it from 2-year-olds to 6-year-olds is 1 teaspoon 2 times a day, or from 6-year-olds to 11 is 1 teaspoon 4 times a day. This was pretty dope. I get zinc. Zinc is very important with everything that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I had that one too for the kids. And I have the
kids. For the babies.
So that's a good one for the baby. Show that one again, Danesha.
This is a Mary Ruth. Her stuff is really good. I don't use all her products, but I use a lot of them. I like to buy the zinc. I have like I
buy this zinc.
My mom, I like to use this one a lot.
This is a good vitamin C. You could put this in your juices or water. I put it in. I give it to the kids as well. Also, like anything you buy, what you want to do.
Chlorophyll.
Oh yes, chlorophyll. That's great. That one.
I'm actually gonna take some now because I did it.
So like for example, another thing that we were accustomed to, right? You would go and you would get oatmeal and you would get the Quaker Oats, right? But go take a look at the Quaker Oats and see what's in that Quaker Oats. All you want is the oats, right? What does that say? Organic oats. That's it. Just oats. That's all I want. I don't want the extra chemicals you use to preserve the food or whatever you did. I don't need that.
And they're easy to find. Those you might not think because we're not used to looking for them. Yes. But they're so easy to find. Like this brand is, I'm gonna show you guys this brand right here. This thing back up here. I got like the Red Mill.
Oh yes, Red Mill. Bob. Don't forget that one.
That one he always it's just the single ingredients, nothing added, and you can get organic versions if you want to, which I prefer for some things. I prefer to just get I'm not too picky, so if I don't find it, I'm not, most of the time I have. Yeah. So like I also wanted to talk about that. Like we have to learn the difference between vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, because we only know vitamins. Oh, vitamins. In reality, sometimes you can't even absorb your vitamins because you don't have the right minerals in your body to be able to absorb it. Yes. It's all connected, but you have to learn the way your body works in order for you to feed it the proper fuel. Yeah. So for some people, we also have to know where we absorb our minerals and nutrients through, and it's through our colon.
Yes.
That's happening so much in our stomachs. Our stomachs are breaking down the food.
Your stomach has a brain. Like, people don't understand that. Your stomach has a brain. Like, your gut is a brain.
Yeah. And if we're not aware of that, we don't understand that we first need to cleanse in order to be able to like, kickstart the body again properly. Because
yes.
on for so long that it's like you have to like cleanse yourself. Like, I don't have issues with the babies. They poop 3 to 4, 5 times a day.
I just cleaned one right now.
Yeah, you know, which is what they should be doing. If your child is needed, you might want to put your child on a fast. Not like, oh my God, starve your child, but we have to learn to properly take care of our body.
Oh, now
and
that
it's
you say
work,
that.
sacrifice.
Another thing, when your children are sick, I know how tempting it is to give them whatever they want and give them the crappiest stuff just to make them feel better. But what you are doing is actually hurting them even more. Find a healthier alternative to the stuff. If your child is sick, the last thing you want to give them is the like a regular milk or any dairy or things of that, because it's high in mucus, right? So you don't want to do that. Mucus causing food. So you want to make sure that you're giving them the lightest foods that they're able to digest fast enough so that their body is not overworked, because it's already working to remove whatever virus or whatever it is that it's trying to do. It has work to do. So have the other organs not as stressed. So when you're giving them a lot of fruits, a lot of water with key lime in it, your smoothies and things like that, that's what you want to give them. You know, just kind of make it fun. You know, like I would take apples and I would turn them into sticks and I'd be like, ooh, apple sticks. Listen, all you gotta do is entertain these kids a certain way with this food and they're gonna be all right. Like, I know it's different for me because my children have been raised this way from the beginning. They have been plant-based because that's what I was before when I was pregnant. But they have, you know, dibbled and dabbled into like a little bit of dairy and things like that. Like if we go out, or let's say if we go to a party and it's not a a vegan cake, I'm not gonna sit there and tell my child no. Like it's not gonna kill them this one time. The problem is that we basically abuse these foods. That's the problem. You sit there and people have like two things of asparagus, right? A big chunk of white rice with a steak in it, and you think you're doing something with the two little strips of asparagus. And it's like, nah, let's have a little bit more sense here. This should be a smaller portion. If you go to these other countries, their meat is actually like a side. It's not the main dish.
Yeah.
For them, you know, but you look at this. I grew up eating rice and beans with pork chops and plátanos, and that was like a daily thing. And when I think about that, I'm like, oh my God, because first of all that grease, we're cooking in vegetable oil, which is the worst oil to cook in. Okay, we're frying stuff, we're seasoning it. I know that sazon is beautiful. I use it sometimes still, but it does have the red 40 food coloring, right? So that's why that's something like if I'm making my arroz con gandules as a treat for like a holiday or one of the kids' birthdays, I do that rice. I don't eat that rice every day anymore because that is not good for you. So you have to know how to limit these things. You don't have to suffer and say, oh, I'm gonna go cold turkey, I'm gonna get rid of this, I'm gonna get rid of that.
I have organic, all natural adobo.
Oh wow. But there's people now. There's a lot of people now making what we love to eat in Spanish foods and these seasonings, but making them plant-based or vegan.
They don't have to be like that. They don't. Have to be that. Like, we have to understand that we're trusting people to do our cultural things. Yep. You understand? Like, we're okay, Goya, here, take care of what this culture likes. Yeah. And we dictate the culture. So once we stop buying things, because it's like, where that they're adding things just because you know, and it's disguised as shelf life and all these things, and it's like, no, we don't need all those things, because herbs, once they're dry, preserve themselves anyway. Like, what do you need? So if you want to make your own adobo, I have a quick, like, you can use sea salt, pepper, oregano, garlic, onion powder, and all powder form, and a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of bay. That's your
Boom.
adobo. That's literally adobo.
You don't need anything else. You
That's
see?
it.
So it
So
doesn't have to be that hard. I think we make it that hard because the truth is that we are addicted. I challenge everybody that watches this live, that's on right now, that watches it afterwards, to take 7 days, just 7 days to start with, and say, I'm going to look at everything that's labeled, and anything that's processed, refined, chemical based, I'm not going to eat it. Okay? Do that. And within a few days, you're going to have headaches. You're going to go through withdrawals because you're addicted. Everything has sugar in it. Sugar is crack.
it's in
Like,
every.
it's in
People
everything.
that
It's an addiction. So you will go through withdrawals. I've been there. Trust me. I'm not perfect here. I grew up exactly the way 90% of people in the hood grew up. The same way. I've ate all those foods. I grew up on all these foods, and I had to remix them because for me, I had to deal with health issues at 21. And nobody would know that because I was slim, I was working out, I was this, I was dancing. It doesn't matter. There's so much going on internally. Your body is a machine. We clean our cars more than we clean our machines. My dad, I remember when I was telling him a parasite cleanse I was doing, he was like, oh yeah, when we were younger, we would have to do that every 6 months. They would have the kids have a drink, and it would remove all the parasites. My dad's like, yo, it would come out of my bag, my nose, everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God. So you see, these are the things that we used to do. We knew how to counter and flush out certain things because not everything is perfect. We are aware of that. But when we're not detoxing or cleansing any of that, and those parasites will sit there and fester and create babies and more and more. And it sounds nasty, but it is what it is. And then when you're trying to eat healthy, you can't because they're here festering on, I mean, they're eating all your foods and you're not getting any of the nutrients.
Yeah, that's important that you said that because where's your dad from? Ecuador?
Ecuador.
So your dad is from Ecuador. My grandmother, well, aunt told me that. And she said they would line up and just be like, boop, 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 boop. Everybody, they'll give them bitters.
Yes!
My landlord, he's Jamaican. And when I was talking to him, he said that they would give him bitters at home. And I'm like, that's the connection that people are not understanding. Yes, our people ate meat. But guess what? It was an animal that they raised with their frequency, with the way that their lifestyle is, with the food that is native to that animal and to the land. And then we're part of the circle of life again.
Yes.
Back and that's what we're disconnected from cultures, and that's the reason why we can't get this food thing connected together, because it's like before we just eat the meat and we just add and add and add. Oh, my ancestors, or oh, my grandparents eat like this and they're fine. Are they fine though?
How is it that you have somebody die from a heart disease and all this shit, and then they go and they're trying to celebrate the person's life, and all you got is a bunch of food that done clog the arteries, causes cancer, and you're like, y'all didn't get it? Like, this is the ignorance that I see us do that drives me crazy, because I'm like, how do we, the only reason that this thing is running rampant is because America is one of the most unhealthiest countries. Half of our foods are banned in other countries, but they're not banned here. If you actually, some of the foods, I mean, some of the things that they have in foods, if you just by itself bought it and gave it to your child, they will call child abuse on you. Like, on certain things. Like, so you got to really stop. You got to really, really think about what was done here. You know what I mean? There was there was like a movement one time because they saw people trying to get healthy, and then you saw like low fat everything. Like, there's always a propaganda to something, and then they saw that people were becoming more plant-based and wanted to be healthier. What happens now? There's like a whole vegan propaganda. Everything is green now. Now we got the McDonald's, the burger. Now they're doing plant-based. Really? Are they cooking it with the same pot that they cooked the other one in? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Like, we got to think about these things. Let's not be so quick just to jump on something because we want a shortcut to something of health. Health is not a shortcut to it. You got to put in the work. Everybody, like I said, will put overtime in their job all day for money, but won't put overtime to do a meal prep for their children. Baby food. Baby food has aspartame. Go look up what aspartame is, okay? Go look that up, aspartame. This was used in Nazi Germany as well, I think, to keep the people docile and a bunch of different things. But why are we doing that when it takes less than 5 minutes to put a banana and a little bit of homemade milk or a little bit of water if you want, and blend that in the blender, and there goes your damn baby food. I mean, it's not that hard, guys, and it
This
doesn't
modern life ain't it.
It's not it.
It's not it. Like,
it's not it.
have to understand the difference between having like gadgets and all these things to cater to us and actually using those things as tools to kind of alleviate motherhood, right? But at the end of the day, it's like there's everything, nothing is free. There's always it's gonna be taken from somewhere.
Yeah.
So we break it down and we're like, okay, so are we gonna trust somebody else or are we gonna do what we think is correct? Now, if you decided to trust somebody else, that's on you later.
That's on you.
That you don't know what you did. You don't know what you did for yourself. And then the problem also that, we could also save a little bit at the end so we can give a few tips on how to transition your children. Because I had to transition myself. And then now I'll keep up with my children visiting family and back home because I'm also trying to keep the peace with my family and not create enemies, which already my ideologies can create that. So, it's like conversations all the time and all these things. But a lot of people are not aware of these things. And they're not aware of the accumulation of it, which is the issue. Yeah. Like a lot of our overweight and we might not, tan chin gordito. Why are children even gaining weight like that when they are so active?
The craziest is that now I posted something, but there's so many children getting diabetes. That breaks my heart because there's no reason for that. First of all, we shouldn't be having all this diabetes. If you look at the most two things, what is it? Like heart disease and cancer are the top things, right? Of what kill people. And then the third one is malpractice. Malpractice. I'm going to say it again. The third one is malpractice.
Malpractice.
And if you think about it, technically the first and the second is also malpractice because they weren't practicing the right fucking way. So they told you the wrong shit to eat. So then you got cancer and you got diabetes and you got heart disease and you dying from that. Come on. Okay? Doctors are not taught nutrition. Go ask them how much about nutrition did they learn in their med school, and they will either tell you none or very, very little. And that's concerning to me because foods are supposed to give you life. Eat foods with life in it and you will have life. You have, we are so backwards in everything where we have given, like we always say, too much power to these institutions. And every time you look back in their track record, they do the, oops, my bad, guess it's not good anymore. Have you been a victim of? And then you see at 2 a.m, did you eat? Did your child, you may be liable for compensation. Nigga, no, let's not do that. Let's stop doing that.
You keep doing
no,
the
don't
problem.
put your mouth, Celeste. Get over here. Come here. Oh my God, these children are out of control. Oh my God. But yeah, this is something because I know the one thing when you're plant-based is like, protein. First of all, your body makes the protein it needs if you have the correct amino acids, because a lot of people lack amino acids. I had to learn I was lacking an amino acid lysine, not protein. So I was trying to find foods that had lysine in it, and then I got like a supplement real quick just so I can know like, okay, this is what I need. Okay, but I do this one here when I want a quick shake. I give it to the kids as well. And this has, this is soy and dairy free, which is what I kind of look for. With my children, just a quick, their breakfast is normally fruits in the morning. If I don't make their own like little smoothie juice, I have like a little machine that you can make it, like you press it. and it has a little pouches they come with, and you can make
Oh,
buying it. Yeah, I have that. So if I don't have that, there's a brand. The Go-Go Squeeze ones are not too bad. I like those. They
yeah,
don't have too much
that
crap.
one.
I
No,
like
this one doesn't
Go-Go
have.
Squeeze. There's another one I can't. Actually, there's one that Walmart sells, and it's actually really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Look for the store brands also, because like for example, you're gonna buy Heinz, or you can buy like, for example, me it'll be like a Pix ketchup, because there's
Right.
a Pix around here, like a Price Chopper or whatever.
Yes.
Look at that brand; it'll have less sugar, or it won't have any sugar, or it'll have like organic options for people that. So the Go-Go Squeeze ones, right? This one, because you have to look, you have to still look. Never just be like, oh,
yeah.
Like you have to look, because they be switching up on you, and then you one day you're like, what? Like, wait. So this one is just organic apple puree concentrate, which is a little iffy, but since I was having a party, I
do use those for parties. Like I said, pick your poison.
I'm not gonna make applesauce for 15 kids. Like I usually make applesauce at home. Not usually. I have a long time because they've been just the apple. They like apple with peanut butter in the morning, which is not, but it's better than not having anything. And then organic lemon juice concentrate. That's it. This is what this had. And it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to buy them this and always have this in my house.
Right.
If you want to, you can, because at least it's a cleaner version and it's organic. So at least whatever. But
at least when you're weaning them off of certain things, like this is a fine, like, substitute.
Exactly. Look, I found these candies also, which is like a Starburst version.
Oh, wow.
And they're really...
Oh, I love that brand.
Yeah. So
something like that?
all organic, right? Rice syrup, cane sugar, palm oil, and then it'll say on the bottom like the palm oil was ethically sourced or whatever, which I think is important too for whoever is out there. And then colored from organic concentrates, carrot, blackcurrant, and turmeric. That's what's in this.
Simple.
So then the other ones were these. These are sour, but they don't have food color. This one was colored with radish, carrot, sweet potato, and blackcurrant, and it has the same ingredients as this. It has
and so like you wanna there's certain times stop, Karen. They're gonna have their treats. You don't want to do this every day. You want to give them as much whole foods as possible every day, and then you have their little snacks and treats and stuff like that. Like that's good for even birthday parties, because I know Danesha used it for birthday parties, right?
Yeah. So like what I try, because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. There's days where we don't even have the proper breakfast because I have somebody here and they had coffee. So then my kids are like, I want coffee. What's up, coffee? Because they like it, we all liked it. And I like to make them aware, but give them the responsibility of making their own decisions, right? Yeah. So I never had soda. But with my husband, sometimes he would have some. Now, I'm not going to start a fight with my husband, but when we were trying to do the transition, Enzo felt a little certain way. So he was like pacing around me one day. And I was like looking like I know he has something to say to me. Talk to you. And I was like, and then I told him, you can have it sometimes. There's no issue with that. Now, the problem is when you're having it all the time, because your body can't detox from those things if you're constantly adding them in. So then that made me aware that he is aware of what he's doing, and he can also be responsible for his health. So adding these little like acts of acknowledgement to your children is important also. Like, as eso por chicken or chicken nugget or chicken, but they don't make the connection that that's an actual animal that they might have touched at the zoo, that they might have wanted to take home, that it's a live thing, right? So we also, in my opinion, should be making our children aware of these things, because they also have like karmic debt, and maybe they don't want to eat another animal. Maybe they don't want that, and I'm not saying, make your life harder as a parent, because you're aware, when you can bring conversations with children. I don't have these conversations with Mila and Milan, but I have conversations with Enzo because he's highly aware of a lot of things. So he knows that when we say beef, it's a cow. It's a cow that we're eating. When we're bacon or we're eating pork or ribs, those are animals that we're eating, right? And then now he would have questions. Where are these animals coming from? How are we getting these animals? There's nothing wrong with that. With also letting your child the part that life is perfect and that we have to navigate through those obstacles, you know? So I think that was important because people don't even know where things come from. People don't really know that applesauce is just apples. Just steam them and mash them, and that's applesauce. So why do we need Mott's applesauce with 7 ingredients when applesauce is just apples mashed? You know, so we wanted to just make everyone aware of these things because we also need to teach our children how to stop for foods that are going to give them energy, that are going to raise their vibrations, that are going to them feel better, that they're going to be okay with their decisions in the future. And if that means
I'm on live right now, though.
A while, then that's what that means as well. But at least you've already implanted that seed in them that it's like you know you can get sick from food, right? Because I feel like that's non-existing culture in American culture and medicine, where we don't realize the connection between food and health. That's insane. Like, we have to realize that those things literally go like this, because this is only manifest or from your hygiene. If you're clean yourself, you cannot touch your butt and then touch your mouth. Like, these that cause diseases, and we think everything is like, oh, by chance, like you just magically have cancer, or because your generations are known to have cancer, like that basically means that your bloodline is tainted with, and that's absolutely not what it means. Hi, Kala. Hi, Celeste. They're so big. So I think that's also very important to understand the connection of food and health, because it's not just a whatever thing. It's like, if you understand that a disease will not just magically appear in your body, that you through time you've made the wrong decisions, and that's why they were able to manifest in your body. Then aware. Now we can make better decisions. Do I want to go eat that food, or do I want to kind of, you know, and that doesn't mean ignore all your urges. We'll have them. But let's be honest, it's the same thing as life. Like, do I want to sit here and file paperwork and look and research things? No, I want to have fun. I want to go live. But guess what? I'm a mom and I have responsibilities. So I have to find the balance. And I think it goes the same with our food and what we're putting in our bodies. Are we balancing it out for real, or are we just like,
So,
you know, I really want it, so let me have it?
Yeah, think about this too, because your foods affect your emotions. You know, they do affect your emotions. So, you know, like if you're eating all these heavy foods and chemically processed, and your organs are having so much trouble trying to break down everything, you're going to be affected by that mentally. Like, people don't understand that. Like, when I want to get right, the first thing I do is I'm like, yo, I got to clean myself. I got to detox. I got to do that to get my mind right. Because I know that it starts from there.
Yeah. And I think we can do now like the tips, right? Because were, I used to eat the same fast food, coffee in the morning. Not even, I would have soda in the morning. It didn't even matter.
Used to have soda too.
Yo, even like leftover pizza, I woke up and be like, yo, let me continue that pizza from last. I would do the same thing. So, you know, we're not coming from a judgment place, but we are coming from a place that we acknowledge what we have to do to grow personally. Yeah. You know, obviously your journey's not going to be the same as my journey, right? But as I started growing up, right, obviously I was always slim. My skin always looked good. My hair always looked good. My body, my skin was nice and tight and good. And then the problem is that you think that because you have all of that, you're healthy, right? But when I would drink, I would get rage. I would get angry. My frequency was super duper low. I just wanted to be out partying, and I things, and I was a night owl, meaning I wasn't balanced. You know, like all these things that we think are okay, but they're not, right? So my first indicator was all my friends used to go out to these restaurants, all my cousins, and we would go, and I would have to pre-check the menu to get there to be, because I'll be so picky. I'm here looking at the menu for chicken nuggets or chicken tenders and French fries at every restaurant. I didn't care. I had a blue ribbon. I was like, you got chicken? You got fries? So my cousin has started pulling me to the side, like, yo, you gotta eat. So what I started doing was trying their different foods and still ordering mine, whatever was like I would think was good. But I started trying their foods to kind of open up my palate, because my palate was just plain of chicken tenders, French fries, and that was basically it. So I needed to switch up my palate so that I'll be open to eating more vegetables and more fruits and things like that. So with children, it's the same transition. They're used to eating a certain way, and now anything that you deviate from that natural way, or not natural, but you're the way that you're used to, now it's like, no, wait, taking me completely out of my comfort zone, and it's uncomfortable, right? So the first thing is the texture, right? You have to make a rule in your house, or as I did, if you want it, we're trying something, you have to try it. You have to try it at least 2 times. And then if you don't like it, I don't force you to eat it, right? But you have to be very with your eyes open, like very observant. Yeah. Because they trick you, right? So my little sister would put something in her mouth. Obviously, the first time, she already mentally said no to it. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Gonna hate it. They're gonna hate it anyways, right? Yep. So then on the second time, I would watch their reaction. And by the end, like the first they're disgusted, and then by the end of their chewing, it's like my son will smile. He would try not to smile, but like, stop. He would be so surprised himself that he liked it. And he liked it. Yeah. And he would try to hide it. Like, no, I didn't like it. And it was like, nah, I saw your face. Stop. And I knew you liked it, and I knew it was bearable, so you got to eat it. Because gagging, you were eating it. Go. So that's a way to get your children to kind of get used to texture, right? Then another fun, make smoothies where you're hiding the ingredients in there. Yes. Make it so easy. Blend carrots and celery, whatever you like for sofrito. I like to put carrots, onions, garlic, tomato, whatever. I like to see out my fridge, throw all the vegetables that I usually like to see with, or that give the flavor, in the blender, and I make my own little sofrito. I don't do it all the time, but when I align myself and I tell myself, I go and I do it. That's also an easier way to season your meats. Just throw that on the meat, like season the meat with that overnight. So eating meat. If you want to even make an omelet real quick and you want to use your eggs, you can put the little sofrito in there, and you don't have to use like seasoning or something like that. So when you hide those vegetables and you make like mac and cheese from scratch, or you want to make like any of those foods, like you don't have to deviate so much from what you do. Even your beans, I use the sofrito to make beans, and they love it. And I make a big pot, then I freeze some, and then when I have people over to cook something like healthy and like home meat, I take out the beans from the freezer, and I don't have to worry, you know? So I do that sometimes. I'm not coming from perfection, just so you're aware. But that's another trick, right? Another thing is the smoothies. If they don't like the smoothie, blend it, put it in the popsicle tray, pop it in the freezer, and give it to them in the morning. Make the connection. Making them herbal teas is a game changer. Game changer. Boil some apples and cinnamon and add some chamomile if you want to relax them at night, and sell it as iced tea. I do it all the time. And put a bunch of you can do agave, you can do the monk fruit sugar, or you can do raw honey, and it's like medicinal now because you're helping them with their allergies or anything. And sometimes I put it in sometimes they have it warm, and sometimes I put it in the refrigerator, and they swear to God it's iced tea. So also the fresh juices. Jenn was the first one that was like, girl, just take oranges and squeeze them. And I was like, yo, really? I was like, I didn't.
So what I learned that was very important, I learned this afterwards. So with the orange juice, I would just make the fresh orange juice. I would buy the orange juice, and you realize how different. If you keep drinking fresh OJ, like from the oranges, and then you go buy a Tropicana orange juice, I promise you, you would be like, you taste the chemicals. Oh my goodness, you taste the chemicals in the store-bought one. You really do. But what I learned with my children was the acidity in the orange is a lot, so I would dilute it with a little bit of water. And then the dentist also told me, like, when he drinks, let's say when they drink the orange juice with a little bit of diluted water, make sure they're drinking it with, they're eating a solid food as well.
Oh, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it's a good tip because for their teeth. So these are little tips that I would learn because, you know, like, we're all new to this, you know, and these doctors are not going to help you. So you kind of got to ask questions. So, like, when we would go to the dentist and they would ask, like, you know, I would diet, I would things like that, I would tell them, like, well, this is what I do. Like, what's the best thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
The sidebar, too, they had taught me because I don't use the fluoride toothpaste. And we'll get into products on another one, but I'm just going to give you one quick tip. There was, they told me just take the regular toothpaste that has fluoride and just put literally a tap of it. Because from 1 year old to 5 years old, they need some of that, right? So the point is, you don't want to just excessively give it in the water, the fluoride, and the toothpaste, and all these things, right? So what I do now is I put the non-fluoride toothpaste in there, and then I put a little bit, a pinch, because it renders a lot. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would do that for them now as they're growing older and to make their teeth strong. And this was just side things that I got from my dentist, so just ask some questions.
Yeah, ask the questions, because another thing too, it's like the mineral, right, that we were talking about. I had gone through that when I was in like my early 20s, where I was iron deficient. I was very close to getting chronic anemia. And then it was
chronic anemia, yep.
And it was a quick fix of just taking vitamin C for 2 weeks, and I was cured, when I had been battling that for 3 months. Like, okay, it's not a super battle, but for me, that I thought this caught me completely off guard. I trying to eat a bunch of iron. I worked in a restaurant that served bison meat, so I even started eating bison. I never deviated from chicken or fish, and then I started eating those meats because they were high in iron. And it wasn't until my mom did a quick Google search, Mom Intuition, and she was like, yo, she printed out like 30 pages of research. It was like a booklet that she had stapled, and she was like, look what I found, that if you take vitamin C. So I looked up, I took vitamin C. In 2 weeks, my iron levels were back to in 2 weeks. So I share that with so efficient, but it's because we don't take that vitamin C, or we don't take the right minerals to help us absorb all the things and the nutrients.
And let me tell you something. Your doctors, if you go to them, your pediatrician, most of them are not going to tell you these different things to do. Like, do your best to find a pediatrician if you want some guidance when it comes to nutrition or health. Somebody that's on the same page, because somebody else is going to diagnose you and be like, oh, they're malnutrition, they're this, they're that, when they're not. We also have to know that when you go to these doctors, their standard of care is based on a Caucasian body. And I won't get too deep into this, but we're not all the same. And that comes from our cultures, our environments, of where we were raised, all these things. So to apply a Caucasian model for everybody is not the way. So you're going there and they're going to tell you that the milestones, the size of their head, the size of their body all match this one thing. And I would notice every time, like, my son was growing perfectly fine, but he's also slim and long like his dad. So he wasn't underweight or any, no, that's his body type, you know? So it's just so many different things. But do the work. You have to do the work yourself a lot more than what these doctors are going to do. And I understand that can be overwhelming for a lot of parents who have to work a 9 to 5 and be outside all day. But this is the reason why me and Denise should do this, because you can have your people that are going to discredit the working moms that work from home and also are with their children every day as people who don't know anything. But actually, we have the ability to know more because we're not swamped in a 9 to 5, coming home exhausted and not having the time to do that. Like, and that's not no offense to anybody, but that's not our reality. So we can do some of the work that you can't do. because of your situation, you know? So it's like, here are all these pointers so that now you have some type of foundation of source of information to look and research, because sometimes you're just like, I don't know where to start. Where we're giving you the starting point. We gave you the fruits, you know, how to do certain things. Here's some other good books too. This one, look at this. I found this for $3 at like a random bookshop, which is why I'm here every Monday. I love you, Danielle. So you see this? So it's America's #1 guide to natural health. It has everything you can ask for is in these books. This tells you the answers to eczema, diabetes, strep, acne. Acne is not normal. I used to suffer from so much acne when I was younger, and it was all from everything I was eating. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. When something is coming out of it, it's saying, help me.
Hi, something's going on inside.
Help me. Yeah, so look at this. Autoimmune diseases, fatty liver, all these things. This is another great book that you guys should get. He has another one, Life-Changing Foods as well. And this is how to heal yourself from fruits and vegetables. Because this is going to tell you like what it does. It'll tell you, look at how dope this is. It'll tell you the fruit, right? And then it's also going to tell you the symptoms. If you have any of these symptoms, you should eat this. And then it's going to say the emotional support. Didn't I say that your emotions come from eating? It tells you what these foods are going to do for you. So certain foods, if you're feeling or your children are feeling a certain way, there's certain foods you can give them that can help them with that mood. Okay? There's a spiritual lesson.
This is all chemistry. It's not like, oh, we're just thinking it up as moms. There's doctors that dedicated their lives to this. There's doctors out there that are speaking on this, and they're not being given the proper attention because everybody wants to go mainstream. And it's like we have to either take all the perspectives or not use any perspective.
Or not use any. Yeah.
One source of information, where does that lead us to?
Yeah. Here's some dope cookbooks that I like. This is some dope plant-based recipes. This is Thug Kitchen. It's called Eat Like You Give a Fuck. It's actually really hilarious because like when he gives the recipes, like it's so funny. I'm gonna find a funny one real quick because I know we've been on here for a minute, but this is a dope live. We giving out some dope information. But he speaks to you basically the way like your homegirl would talk to you. You know what I mean? He's like, here, it says, hold the fuck up. Where's the meat? You know what I mean? And then he goes through a bunch of things. Carpe fucking diem. Like, it's just so hilarious. And it just makes it fun, you know? It'll be something here, like, he'd be like, in a small bowl, mix together the cumin, the chili powder, and oregano, and set that shit aside. Prep work, motherfucker. Like, it's, you know, shit like this that I'm cracking up as I'm reading these recipes, but you know, if there's certain things in here that I don't want to do, like a soy or things like that, I'll just go to Google and then just find a replacement. That's it. Hey, we've been here going in, girl. Here's another one. I found some dope breakfast for like pancakes and waffles in this book too.
He's in our story. Jen, I'm gonna remind you.
Yes. This was one that my business partner had got me for, I think, one of my birthdays, whatever. But look, Google is your best friend. Find options. Okay? Make it fun for your children.
And other search engines for
yes. What's the other search engine?
DuckDuckGo, Yandex.
DuckDuckGo.
There's different ones. You research in all of them and you compare the information so you don't get tricked out there, because that's what happens.
Because you have to understand that a lot of these networks and a lot of these websites are owned by the same people. Like, it's just a branch of them, and there's like the big henchons, right? Like, you know, the guy right here, and he's owning all these things. So they're all gonna keep the same information circulating so that people are steered a certain way. They're not gonna give you both sides of the story. So this is why now they have all these other websites that are not censored, and you can find real information in there.
Yeah.
But a lot of this, I'm not gonna lie, is gonna be your common sense. Look at your body like a machine, and that machine has to work properly, but it has to also be nourished properly, detox properly, cleansed properly, and spoken to properly. Our mind has to be right too. we are our own worst enemy. So that's also, you know, I know for me, like when I be going through stuff, I'm an emotional eater. Like I'll just want to just indulge if I'm going to something in the crappiest food. You know, like I have to really stop myself. Like, yo, I'm bugging right now. But that's exactly, you know, a lot of people, you know, so we have to be mindful of that. I don't know if I mentioned oil of oregano, but oil of oregano is also really, really good. Now, let me warn y'all, the shit burns.
I
If
drink it
you,
capsule. So
oh,
through
okay.
because I use the doTERRA oils, I just add the drops to a veggie capsule, and then I ingest it that way.
Yeah, so this one I like. Again, I love Garden of Life, but
I like
I put just a pinch of that in my tea real quick and like some warm water, and then I drink that, and that helps out just flush out the body. I don't use this in my children just yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a children's version of it. Like everything was saying, most of the stuff you can use for your children. One thing, what was one thing? Oh, here's something that I learned that I want to make sure I tell you guys. Don't take magnesium and zinc together because the zinc is so strong it will not let the magnesium fully digest. So it's actually going to eat up the magnesium. So these are things that you want to take separately. So I would
it.
say at
Sounds
least,
overwhelming, but just try some
yeah.
things and apply like apply what you would do for your children out of love for your children. Apply it to yourself, because I don't know about anybody. I found myself doing healthy things for them and then just setting myself aside and doing unhealthy things. And then I was like noticing that my mood was affecting my parenting, the way that
Mm-hmm.
the bathroom was affecting my parenting because I was getting frustrated. And then
Yep.
I realized, like, hold up, I'm doing all these because I love them, but where's the love for myself to implement?
Yes.
So then I started drinking the water with lemon with them in the morning. Now I do a pitcher. Okay, you want to, and we're not perfect, so we don't do these all the time. We're not coming. But just because awareness, now if you're aware, you can set the intention. You can make the goals. You
Yep.
can do it because now you are aware. And that's the first step. So don't ever feel guilty also, because that can eat at you as well.
Yeah.
And that'll mess with your
And
emotions.
and let's say your child is going through something and they have to have a diet change immediately for whatever reason in their health. I strongly advise that people do this as a family and not just isolate the child and then they just have to eat a certain thing and then they're being rejected on all these other foods when they see everybody else eating it. We have to think about the psychology of what we're doing to our children. So at that point, I've seen a friend of mine where the whole entire house had to go plant-based, but she found great alternatives and she really, really, really like basically transformed and given them, better options. She didn't just strip everything away, but because they did it as a family and as a unit, it was easier to heal her child. And she healed her child from whatever they were going through. So, I understand that sometimes also you have your partners where they don't eat the same way, and that's fine as well. But be honest with your children on why you're consuming the foods that you're consuming. Don't lie to your children. That is the worst thing you can do. Don't lie to your children. Don't lie to yourself. If you put in the work, it gets easier through time because you just start to know. In the beginning, it's overwhelming. Stick with it. It's worth it. You will see the difference in your children. Anybody who's had to transition, you will. Oh, I am saving it. We're gonna close out soon, so y'all can rewatch this. This was our longest one, but I really think this was necessary.
Yeah.
Let's yeah. Well, I don't know if I have anything else.
That's another before I forgot, but if you're craving meat, just have meat. Don't eat fake. If you are, don't eat it. Just don't eat it. If you're gonna feel so guilty that you're gonna an alternative and eat the fake, just understand that nothing comes without sacrifice. So
Nothing.
What make it like
See,
that?
like me, if I eat that fake meat, it's because I can't eat real meat. Like I flare up with because that's because of my psoriasis. So there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like so. But if you can and your body is not going to react to it in a bad way, then that could be your treat that you have once in a while. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to sit there. Like for me, I'm plant-based, but honey, once a year, I eat some baked mac and cheese, and not no vegan shit. I'm talking about some baked mac and cheese, okay, with the real cheese, all right? and I indulge in that. Yes, I got gas all night, and the next day, I don't care. I'm gonna take the hit. You know what I mean? Like that's just what I do. Like that's how, if I'm like, I do 90% of my life is me trying to do plant-based, and 10% sometimes I dibble dabble in the dairy or things like that, or in the fake meat sometimes, and that's just to get my fix real quick because I can't eat beef, like stuff like that.
The habit out of it is really
you don't want to make a habit out of it. You don't want vegan junk food. You don't want any of those things. If you really look and put in the work, go online, and let's say your child likes a certain type of snack or whatever, go online and try to find the best alternative to that. That's all you got to do. Just always try to find the best alternative to any lifestyle you want. And one last thing before I close, which is so important, please, please, please have your children drinking water.
A lot.
Water should be their main thing. You will never hear my children ask for juice because they're not used to that. 90% of what they drink is water. Or if I make the juice fresh or things like that. But for the most part, they're going to ask anybody for water, which is shocking to a lot of people because most children, they're already by an early age addicted to sugar. So they want that fix. You know, another brand that I use for plant-based, like for yogurt example, is So Delicious. I like I don't like the regular one. I like the vanilla, only flavored ones. They're not too bad. You know, the ingredients are not as crazy, but it's a good snack for them real quick.
Yeah, for me, we use Chobani. So I Chobani the plain without anything. It has probiotics.
Yes.
It's also. Hey B. So we have, that's an alternative also. I think I saw Bianca actually uses the coconut yogurts, which is an alternative for people. Go look for them, you know.
It's out there. Trust me. I have found anything that I used to love. I found an alternative. I'm not gonna lie, cheese is the only thing that's funny. And I will say, if you're looking for a good plant-based cheese, I think my favorite brand is it's like a Mykonos, something like that.
Yeah, I like that one.
Those are the best ones I've had. Or if I bought the cashew one, but it's a specific brand of cashew. I gotta find it, but it's actually the best one as far as taste and texture of what I wanted in my fix real quick. Then I do it like that. But this is pretty dope.
Don't buy the block cheese and shred it yourself, because the shredded one has a bunch of additives on it.
I didn't know that.
And so that it lasts longer on the shelf. So just a tip, like if you want to make it a little bit slightly healthier, then just get a block of cheese and shred it at home. You could do that with the Parmesan cheese. Just get like a little thing, or the little like this, and then you can have the cheese without all the caking chemicals.
Make sure to a lot of key lime, like let's say also with cheese, if you're doing the cheese, try to have your children drink a lot of key lime water. It just helps flush it out from sticking in the body. So it's just different things you can do to counter it, you know. So cute. All right, well, let me yes, hold on. Let me get these children fed. I'm going to save this and put it on. Thank you guys for whoever joined us. Thank you guys for whoever's watching afterwards. Next week, I think we go into postpartum or something.
Yeah.
Postpartum is going to be good. Postpartum is going to be good, guys.
Yeah, I have a few postpartum moms out there.
But hit us up also if you have like a story that you want to share that's related to whatever subject that we're talking on. You know, we're gonna start bringing people up as well. We really want this to be a community where we are having these conversations freely. Nobody's feeling like one person is telling them to do this and that. No, we're just having an open conversation and learning from each other as a tribe. You know, so let's just continue that energy. And that's about it.
Yes.
Thank you, B.
I wish like we could like make it even longer because it was good and we have a lot of tips. But you know,
I have like
that's why we'll have the open segment for like where we can...
because these are topics that when we learn new stuff, we can hop back on and be like, yo, we're gonna do another one on nutrition. We got some more gems to give y'all. You know, like these are ongoing conversations. They're never gonna die out.
But that's about it. Okay, this is not agua right now. Hold on. We're gonna go downstairs right now. All right, y'all. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll catch you guys next Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.